What's up, my video bros? Maine-iac here with another NBA pick video. It is Saturday, January 12th. First game's on at 3:30, which is an hour and 20 minutes away. For those of you wondering when this is getting recorded, I wanted to record this after the other video went up, so check that out. This video is not sponsored by General Electric from the Celtics or Disney from the Magic, but these two teams are important. I'll talk about them at the end of the video, so just stay tuned. We got the Pistons at the Clippers. Clippers favored by 6.5. I think overall the Clippers are the better unit, front and back and a bench. I think Clippers win this one. Favored by 6.5. It's a little much, so I'm going to take the Pistons to cover the spread, or at least take the Pistons against the spread. I think a better spread would be 4.5. So if it does dip below 4.5, I will take the Clippers to cover. Then you have the Grizzlies at the Heat. Heat favored by 4.5. I'm going to take them to win, and I'll take them to cover the spread. I would also take them up to a 7.5 point favorite, mainly because I feel like the Heat are one of those teams that are starting to gel. I love their replacement for Goran Dragic. I forgot his name. I apologize for that. I actually just picked him up in fantasy too, and I forgot his name. But anyway, the Heat look solid. I like how they're playing, and the Grizzlies team doesn't look so good. And yeah, the Celtics have the Magic. Celtics favored by 7 here. I think they win. I think I'm going to pick them to cover, but it's a risky one for sure, mainly because the Celtics have been struggling being consistent lately, and Aaron Gordon and Vucevic are an interesting matchup. But one matchup I'm hoping to see later in the game is Robert Williams, also known as Timelord from the Celtics, versus Mo Bamba from the Magic. I hope they get some time together, because that would be amazing to watch. I think it was 1 point in the game against the Heat that the Celtics lost that Horford, Rozier, Brown, and someone else were like a combined 3 for 21 or something like that. It was like 0 for 8 from 3. It was awful. But I'm going to pick the Celtics to win. I think they'll pick up the consistency. I think Kyrie Irving and Horford do have the leadership that's going to take the them into shape. And Morris is a tough guy too. I think Morris will start pulling some Kevin Garnett type shit if he has to. And then you got Pelicans Timberwolves. Pelicans currently favored by 2. I'm going to pick them to win and cover. I love this matchup for Drew Holiday. I think Drew Holiday has a good game, and by that I mean 20 points, 8 assists, and 3 steals, if I had to guess. I think it should be a good night. Anthony Davis should have a solid game as well. Timberwolves coming off a tough game against the Mavericks. If this is a back-to-back, so I think it's going to make it harder for the Timberwolves. Obviously, back-to-backs are never easy. Pelicans being a little bit fresher, I think, is an advantage here. 2-point spread, I think, is appropriate. I'll take the Pelicans to cover. And you get the Spurs at the Thunder, NBA TV, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. OKC favored by 5.5 against the Spurs. This one's very interesting because I believe the Spurs whooped their butts last time. No Rudy Gay for the Spurs, and this one is a tough one. And yeah, just a couple days ago, the Spurs beat Oklahoma by 7 points in double overtime for a combined score of 301. I don't think they get so many points this time, but I think, like I said before, I thought the Spurs could have a chance of winning, and I think the Spurs have a chance of winning now. But without Rudy Gay, I think the Thunder win at home. I think this is a series, these two teams, basically the home team's probably going to end up winning it. So I'm going to go Thunder. 5.5 seems a little large, so I'm going to put that at my ceiling. If it goes higher, I'm picking the Spurs to cover the spread, but 5.5, I'll pick the Thunder to cover. Then you get the Nuggets at the Suns. Nuggets by 9.5 with Jokic on the team. Jokic versus Ayton should be an interesting matchup. I'm going to pick the Nuggets to win. 9.5 points seems a little bit much, but I'm going to pick them to cover. I feel comfortable with the overall talent of the Nuggets compared to how bad the Suns have been. Then you get the Bulls at the Jazz. One of the only teams about as bad as the Suns. Jazz favored by 12 here, which is huge. Jazz a game over 500, which is really, really important. I'm going to pick them to win and cover. Overall, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, should have good matchups in this one. But one person I'm looking for to actually have a game and show up and make the difference here is Derek Favors of the Jazz. I think Derek Favors should have a solid rebounding game, a solid paint game in this one, and I think he is the underlying key for victory. Then you have the Hornets at the Kings. Kings favored by 5.5. I think Kings win, and I think the Kings push their record to over 500. And a good thing here about the Kings, where they stand right now, is they're currently 4th in their division, but they are... I don't even know how that happens. But I'm sorry for the pause, but I clicked the Kings and I clicked the standings, and a pop-up ad popped up in the ESPN app, so I don't know how that happened. Anyway, Kings are currently 10th in the Western Conference, only a game and a half behind the Lakers, so a win here puts them only 1 game back, which is not bad whatsoever, especially being 22 and 21, which would be a good enough record for 6th place in the East, considering the Heat are 500 and are currently 6th. It is not looking too good in the East this year. Anyway, guys, hope you have a good day. See you in the next one. Peace.